All right. Well, our topic today is make better decisions, and our goal is really quite straightforward. Make more good ones, fewer bad decisions, all right? We're going to explore the concept of bounded rationality, for which Herbert Simon won his Nobel Prize, and we're going to look at how the mind works and makes decisions, good ones and bad ones. I will, throughout this talk, ask some questions. It would be helpful if you had a pencil and paper or something to write on handy, and then you could type your answers in on the Q&A section. I'll need your participation here, so it's not a passive seminar, if you will. So you'll be taxed here. And we're going to make decisions together as we go through this. And the benefits of what we'll talk about not only apply to your work life, but to your personal and community lives as well. And so one can find benefits in all aspects of one's life in making better decisions. One of the fundamental findings by Herbert Simon has been a concept called bounded rationality. And people have heard of it. However, we really many don't understand what it means and why it was such a breakthrough in thinking. Prior to Herbert Simon's discovery, if you will, or research, it was believed that people would take in all the information available and make a very rational decision based on that. And his finding finds that that's not true. In effect, as you could see here, we have limitations in the amount of space available. We have limitations in the amount of usable memory space. Right now it's measured at 7 plus or minus 2, depending on your gifts from when you were born. And of course we have our cognitive complexity or intelligence limitations, and also we perceive things differently, and they come with many errors, our perception. So we really don't calculate the optimal solution from a rational model at all. All right, what we do is we come up with one that's acceptable and reasonable, given the options we can take in, all right, because we can't take in all the information. And to take that a step further, there we go. Daniel Kahneman, also a Nobel Prize winner, comes up with the term SACE. He's been studying decision-making for over 30 years, and he's a psychologist and focuses on that. His partner was a man named Tversky. Tversky died in '99, and Kahneman received the prize in 2002 for their work. So you have to be alive to receive the Nobel Prize. And one of their findings was that decision makers will find a solution that is satisfactory and will suffice. Hence, he combines these two words to satisfice. And it's, in effect, an acceptable level of performance. So there's nothing bad about that. That's because bounded rationality shows that we can't take in all the information. So we take in enough and make a satisfactory decision. Summarize here, you can see that the whole concept of bounded rationality, in that people can't process all the information even if we had it. That's the net of it. And so we're going to make decisions with limited information and with the information that we find satisfactory that we selected. Hence, we have this final conclusion from the work. It's important to understand that as we go through and make decisions. So as we go through the meeting today, we're going to look at what's called System 1 thinking and System 2 thinking. And these are described in detail in Kahneman's recent text, Thinking Fast and Slow, came out in 2010. And we're going to see how the two systems work together, and they need each other. And then we're going to take a look at a few decision traps, time permitting, that we have here. And there's much written about these over the years, and studies by Kahneman, Tversky, and many others on some of the common traps we make using heuristics in decisions which lead us to bad conclusions or erroneous decisions. Now, a question for you here. How much every day? type in a number. I do. Okay, nobody knows here. All right. Let's take a look. Every day, we'll make up to 35,000 decisions a day. All right. Many of these are very rapid. We make them quickly. We don't even know we're making them. For example, all of us that drove to work today made many decisions, when to stop, when to turn, to look at the situation, and we made hundreds of decisions before we even got to the office. And throughout the day, when we're asked to go to the supermarket or in the store or looking at our computers at work, we'll make up to 35,000 decisions. And we need a system that can make those decisions rationally. All right? I see your question there in the Q&A, so and some people guessed at 1,000 or 100 of decisions, so we're getting there, but not close. All right? So as we make these decisions, the question is, how do we make so many of them? And that's because the research by Kahneman and others shows that we actually have two ways of making decisions. And I use a picture here of two different brains almost. System one is described as it's very fast and automatic, it's intuitive, it's instinctive, like in driving our car. And by the way, it's primary in that our brain will use that one first. It's very fast, but it's blind. It's what you see is all you get, or is all there is. It's kind of like a photograph. If you think about driving a car, it looks at everything around it immediately and then makes a decision. So it doesn't think about the next consequences or what's going to happen after that. It's just what you see is all there is, and it makes a fast decision. In contrast, you look at System 2, it's considered, and you have to activate it. It takes effort. All right? It is very focused on a problem. So, for example, if you're on an Excel spreadsheet trying to solve a complex problem, you're definitely using System 2. It is secondary, meaning that we prefer to use System 1 because it's easier. We don't have to do anything. Unfortunately, System 2 is a bit slower and it's lazy. It will defer to System 1 whenever it can. And that's unfortunate because System 1 will make mistakes. So it defers decisions to the section of the brain that makes mistakes. Now, watch into this photo. Type it in quick. A couple of people, angry, annoyed, mad. All right. No one's going to say she's happy, upset. Perfect. Excellent. Very focused as well. Now, here we have this Microsoft clip art woman who I would bet none of us have ever met her, and perhaps we've used her in some slides. Yet we're able to make these decisions quite quickly. Concentration, seems angry, and this is System 1 at work. System 1 is very important because it can recognize a situation and draws conclusions. And I'd say we're pretty accurate about this woman's, some variation, but certainly she doesn't look happy. No one mentioned that. All right? And is it a possibility of one person thinking he's only System 1? Yes, oftentimes we only use System 1. All right? And some people don't like to use System 2 at all. When we get to that, you'll see that. And I have your other question in mind as well. But I want us to practice using System 1. I want you to see with System 1 how important it is for us. So